ভাঙি দিয়া হ'ল বংগবন্ধু শ্বেখ মুজিবুৰ ৰহমানৰ বাসগৃহ। বুধবাৰে নিশা বংগবন্ধু শ্বেখ মুজিবুৰ ৰহমানৰ বাসগৃহত আক্ৰমণ কৰি অগ্নিসংযোগ কৰিলে একাংশই। ইতিমধ্যে শ্বেখ হাছিনাই এই সন্দৰ্ভত প্ৰতিক্ৰিয়া প্ৰকাশ কৰি কয় যে তেওঁলোকে ঘৰ ভাঙিব পাৰে, কিন্তু ইতিহাসক ধ্বংস কৰিব নোৱাৰে। ইতিহাসেও প্ৰতিশোধ লয়। এনে এক উত্তেজনাময় পৰিস্থিতিৰ মাজতে আমি যোগাযোগ কৰিছিলোঁ বাংলাদেশৰ আৱামী লীগৰ এগৰাকী মুখপাত্ৰৰ সৈতে। বাংলাদেশৰ সমাজত স্বাধীনতাৰ দিনৰ পৰাই চলি থকা মুছলমান সাম্প্ৰদায়িকতাবাদ আৰু ধৰ্ম নিৰপেক্ষতাবাদৰ মাজৰ সংঘাতেই এনে পৰিস্থিতিৰ মূল কাৰণ বুলি তেওঁ মন্তব্য কৰিছে। তেওঁৰ মতে আৱামী লীগৰ কিছু ভুলৰ বাবে সাম্প্ৰদায়িক আৰু পাকিস্তানীপন্থী বাংলাদেশীৰ ষড়যন্ত্ৰত এই সংঘাতে তীব্ৰ ৰূপ ধাৰণ কৰিছে। ছাত্ৰ আন্দোলনৰ পাছত আৱামী লীগৰ নেতাসকলে এই ধৰণৰ মন্তব্য কৰা দেখা যায় যদিও আজিৰ আলোচনাত বাংলাদেশী সমাজখনৰ স্বৰাজোত্তৰ কালৰ পৰা চলি থকা সংঘাত সম্পৰ্কত এক নতুন দৃষ্টিভংগী প্ৰকাশ কৰিলে। চাওক দি ক্ৰছকাৰেণ্টৰ এই বিশেষ সাক্ষাৎকাৰ অনুষ্ঠানটি।
So, welcome. Thank you for joining with us. Let me start with a question that what's happening with Awami League? Why so much anger for them?
Well, I don't think there is so much anger for Awami League. I think it would be perfect to say that the anger you have just seen is anger against our liberation war. The anger, the particular sect in Bangladesh, they were anger since last 54 years that why Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman led the liberation struggle, why we defeated Pakistan. So the anger is against India, anger is against liberation war, anger is against the whole spirit of liberation war. It's not anger against Awami League. If Awami League, let's say Awami League is like a party who are talking like Hifazat Islam or Jamaat Islam, I don't think the sect you are referring to wouldn't be say anything about our political activities or anything. So I think the particular sect who tried to defame our liberation struggle, who tried to defame all the glories since 1972, right after the liberation war. So it's that sect and their legacy you are talking to.
So are you saying that this whole movement is a denial of the liberation war?
Yes, of course. And why you think, I mean, if you just be very much particular, that why you think that the anger is just only to Awami League? Because have you seen they are demolishing Bangabandhu's house? They are killing all the freedom fighters. They are demolishing all the symbol of liberation war. So I don't know how come, probably you have seen just a single part or just a particular part, but I don't think that this is any anger against the spirit of Awami League. What Awami League did, the whole thing happened before 5th of August. It's just about the quota system and stuff. So I don't know whether you were aware of the story or not. There was no quota system at all since 2018. Because when there was students were talking about the quotas, and when they're saying that the quota system should be abolished and whatever they actually wanted, then the then Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina on 2018, 4th of October, she said straight away in the parliament that there will be no quota. Since then, there was no quota system in Bangladesh. In 2021, one person, according to our constitution, Article 27 and Article 106, he filed a writ petition in the court. So court gave a verdict that quota system should be restored. The way quota system was banned is not constitutional, blah, blah, blah. A lot of things actually happened. So government herself appealed against that decision. So government requested student, okay, this is a court process, we cannot interfere court process and just wait till 7th of August, because the next hearing date was fixed on 7th of August. So students should have waited till that time. They wanted government, they want justice, they want a neutral judiciary, and that student themselves want government would interfere in the court system, that they will change the quota system and blah, blah, blah. So there was nothing government could do, because the whole thing went to the court. The court was dealing the matter. So what government did, they were trying to create mayhem, they were vandalizing, they were creating problems, they were killing people, they were throwing stones, they were doing a lot of things you have seen. So what is government duty in that time? Let's say the area you are from, some people is trying to conduct mayhem. What government would do? Government will try to protect. They were in the street for 15 days, from 1st of July to 15th of July. Government didn't say a single word to them, and they let them happen. They said, okay, they are doing protesting, they are talking, that's fine. So this is, government accommodated that. So how come we can tell, or somebody can tell, or somebody can refer that government were not, what should I say, that government didn't let them do the protests and stuff. So it didn't happen. Government even helped them, and government students wing, or the Awami League student wing went there, and they told to the student there with them, they also want this quota system to be abolished, or that some sorts of quota system should be there, probably 5% or 7%, something like that. So government was there whole time. Well, their intention was to topple the government, and I don't think the student actually did it by themselves. There's lots of international players, there's a lot, that there was a funding, and even other Islamist parties like Jamaat Islami, Hizbut Tahrir, Hefazat Islam, Bangladesh Nationalist Party, and all were involved with this mayhem, all were involved with this plot. So even the American intelligence were telling, their ex-American intelligence were telling that this is a color revolution, and it was just planned mayhem.
But then why Awami League couldn't sort of resolve this issue? Why couldn't they sort of maintain the law and order?
Well, what would be the best possible step to resolve this matter? The Sheikh Hasina, the PM, she called all the student leaders to the Ganabhavan where she lives, her resident. The ministers went to the protest and they said, okay, they will resolve it. Even the court hearing date was fixed on 7th of August. And then they applied to the court, the Attorney General, and the date came to probably is like 17th or 18th July, and the quota system was changed that time. So when they were asking for something, government took initiative straight away within 3 or 4 days. What do you expect from the government? Should they go to the student leader and say, okay, take the power and you run the country? If you are referring to this, I'm not on board with you. I'm not agreeing with you.
So was it just a quota system, or it was more than that? Like last 15 years of Awami League's rule in Bangladesh, these things were also kind of triggered this whole movement. What do you think?
No, if you know, if you are aware that what was the quota system and why it was launched and why it was here in Bangladesh, all the government employment system. The quota system was for the people who fought for the country to liberate our country against the Pakistani force. And that time they were most neglected person before that and even after that, because the war hero, some people lost their houses, some people lost their limbs, they were nothing left on them. So obviously government then launched a system, okay, they will get a special benefit, it was a part of that. And every country, there is a quota system for the people who are lagging behind from the society. So obviously government launched that, and since I don't know when it was launched, probably after the Liberation War, I don't know the exact date. So lots of government came after that. Ziaur Rahman, the BNP's founding leader, Ershad in 1982 to 90s, and other people. And there was some sort of quota system in our whole government employed process. So yes, I agree with that, we can talk about it. If this quota system creates any problem or any sorts of like, what they're saying, that disadvantages to the people who think that I am eligible for that job due to the quota system, I cannot get it. If there is that sort of problem, yes, government can solve it, government can resolve it. What government did? They just abolished whole quota system in 2018. So it's happened 6 years ago. What could they do? What we can ask for? What more we can ask for to the government?
Let's talk about more kind of sociological issues behind this movement. Let's say it's a movement. So what is the unemployment scenario in Bangladesh in the last 15 years during Awami League's time period?
Well, there is a lot of job opportunities were there. People got job. People were doing their normal work, and I don't have any data with me at this moment. Obviously, I don't know the exact scenario, but in fact, there was no protest about the job, that people are not getting jobs and people are unemployed. Yes, unemployment is even in England. I live in England, and even in England, there is employment problem. Lots of people who passed from the university are not getting the appropriate job. There is in fact, there is a lots of cuts in the NHS, lots of cuts in different public sector, private sector. It's a normal scenario for each and every country. But for all I remember, with the regards of Bangladeshi situation, I never heard any problem of the unemployment issues, for which the student can come to the street and they can protest. Yes, there was a problem, and there was a talkings about the government job system, and even government jobs. The way they portray it is even not true. People think that who are the grandson or grandchildren or the son of the Liberation War hero, they will get the job straight away. It's not like that. Everybody had to appear for the exam. Everybody had to appear for the viva and everything. At last phase, when there is a viva, which means that if you want a job, regardless you are son or grandson of a freedom fighter, it doesn't matter. You have to appear for your written exam. You have to appear for your other exams, MCQs, exams, and after all the procedures, then they considers whether you are eligible to get under the quota system or not. That means a person who is a son or grandson of a freedom fighter is also eligible to get that job. The way they portray the whole system, that a Tom, Dick and Harry came to and asked for the job and government is giving the job without any qualification, is not like that. Everybody is meritorious. Everybody is eligible to carry on that job. So obviously, as you asked me, and if I refer to your question, I didn't see any major unemployment issues in Bangladesh. Yes, there was unemployment issues, but it was just a normal process like every other countries.
Okay, so I didn't understand one thing, that you are saying that this is a conspiracy. It's a national and international conspiracy. Do you think on the basis of a conspiracy, this much kind of a movement could organize in Bangladesh? It was a huge movement. It's a urban. I can say that, but it's an urban movement, but it's a huge movement nonetheless. So
It
why do you
was
think this had to happen?
the information I have
Mhm.
on 5th of August, 92,000 people were on the street, especially on the capital. Let's say it's not 92,000. Let's say it is 200,000, right?
Mm.
Our
Okay.
population is almost I think is 200 or 170 million or 180 million. So what is the
Okay.
percentage if you just calculate the people were in the street and the whole population? It's not even 2% or cents percent. Like, is it 200,000
Yeah, but
compared
movements
to
are like movements are like that, right? Movements are like that.
army? Look, when army betrays, when police lost their ammunition and they were just helpless and army betrays, it happened in Bangladesh and Pakistan many times. So what happened to Bangabandhu, the father of the nation, Sheikh Mujib? He was killed brutally. So what did he do that time? You just tell me. So it happened even after him. Then Zia Rahman came in the power in 1977. He was also killed in 1981. Then Ershad came. What happened? So Ershad came and he was power for 9 years. So when you are referring to a movement as or tagged as quote unquote as a massive movement, I mean, you can say I welcome that. You can tell whatever you want to, but I'm not agreeing with you, and I don't subscribe what you are referring to. Actually, it was not a massive. It was a conspiracy, and CIA was behind it. ISI was behind it, and we failed. Yes, as a government, our government failed to face it, and somehow, I mean, they couldn't control it. Yes, we accept that failure. Of course, we accept that failure because we are not in power. But it was not a massive movement. I have seen massive movement. Massive movement was 1971 revolution. I have seen massive movement in Middle East. I have seen massive movement in West. So this is not called massive movement, right? Even let's say, for example, what happened in RG Core in probably last year. I was in Calcutta, and when I was in Calcutta, I saw huge percentage of people on the street. Even I went to College Street and other parts of Calcutta, I saw people. So if they could manage to topple Mamata Banerjee, even I cannot refer to as a massive movement. It was a little bit movement. Few people, few students, they were very much agitated. They were talking about that rape case and stuff. So when you can topple a government, then people can refer to it as a massive movement. They were toppled, they were ousted because of this and because of this. But I mean, per se, and the real scenario was it not a massive movement at all. And if you call it revolution, I don't even subscribe to that. I think this was a terrorist attack.
Revolution. I said I'm insisting on movement. The word is movement.
Yeah.
So the second point I wanted to bring to you.
Well,
is about
I'm
this
sorry to interrupt you. Just I want to ask you a question. For example, this whole matter was related to court. Court was there to decide whether the quota will be there or not. Even court decided that, okay, there will be 7% quota, right? So what could government do? They will interfere with the court decision. If the student wants government to interfere with the court decision, that means straightway they were asking government to interfere with the judiciary. On the same time, they were talking about the judiciary, they were talking about the democracy, that they want a democratic process, they want judiciary, they want justice. If somebody asks for justice, if somebody wants justice, how come they are telling or tacitly telling government to interfere in the court system? Because under the Article 27, an individual filed a writ petition. So let's say government took a decision, let's say government take a decision, right? You do not agree with that, you do not want that. You go to court and file a writ petition. So after filing a writ petition, if some people keep on saying that we want that result, that verdict now in our favor, will you do that as a government? Let's say you are the government, you are the head of the state.
But Mr. Muzumdar, this is not a linear movement, right? There are other issues kind of tagged with it and things like that. So what about this human right abuses during the last 15 years of government?
For example,
what do you think about it?
I mean, yes. I mean, if you are talking about the human rights, can you refer to a single incident that was not taken care of? I mean, in India, in USA, in USA, how many people were killed by police? I mean, I'm not even telling that, okay, the people are being killed in USA, so it is normal in Bangladesh. I'm not even trying to say that. What I'm trying to say that killings, this kind of vandalism is you have to, when you are in government, if it is a state-backed vandalism, if it is a state-backed human rights, what should you say, human rights violation, then you can talk about it. When there is something, even the RAB, the Rapid Action Battalion, they killed 7 people, right, in Narayanganj. They were arrested and they were under trial, and already, I mean, you know the verdict. They got life. Somebody got life. Somebody they gave verdict to hang. So it is under process. So when something happened and government is taking initiative, we cannot tell that it was a government backed. Yes, there was a telling of disappearance. Yeah, they were telling forced disappearance, right? They were investigating it. Even government was aware of it. Government was talking about this. In fact, the Prime Minister were talking that time before, 30th of July probably, that she wants investigation under United Nations. So if Sheikh Hasina did that, if Sheikh Hasina was responsible, she wouldn't never say that she wants an investigation under United Nations. So obviously you cannot tell that government did it. Government were taking all the actions. Can you just tell me one single incident which was proved against the government till now?
So then this question again will turn up, is that why Awami League couldn't sustain their government in Bangladesh? Why does this so-called conspiracy happened against that?
Well, there's a lot of vested party was there, lots of interested party was there, and they had their counterpart. Awami League was not the only party who was carrying their politics in Bangladesh. There was a different political party, different opinion was there, and they carried out that movement. They fueled that movement. And USA, there was a lot of, you know it very well, that USA had a very big interest in Bangladesh, like St. Martin's.
But you were there for years. You were the government.
Yes, I was there. Yes, I was there. So what do you want me to do? If somebody, even if you look back to our history, it is not the new. How Sirajuddaulah regime was fallen. How even in unseparated Indian subcontinent, if I talk about this, Netaji was tagged as a war criminal. How come that happened in India? So there's a lot of history I can tell you, that when you talk about the conspiracy is not something in a legal way, illegal way. If I talk to you and if I send few people to just kill you after the show, do you even comprehend that I am sending people to kill you? So the conspiracy is always the back door. Yes, government failed. That's what I said. That government failed. They couldn't take the right measure, and they also confess that. And when you fight with the conspirators for a long time, sometimes it is impossible to fight with them, because I think PM could even sustain there. PM could even, she could take some drastic measure with her what called armies and other, and obviously she didn't want to. She said, okay, she was telling in 2021 she was telling before 2018 election that she doesn't want to do politics anymore. She want to go back to her the roots, like Tungipara in Faridpur. So she told her opponent that okay, let's create a national party and do the election. Let's do this together. Let's do the election together. I mean, she offered it, and if they don't want that, if they choose to come to the back door, what Sheikh Hasina could do? I mean, I don't see that there is nothing she could do.
So what are you saying that that Bangladesh has a tradition of conspiracy?
Yes,
or
of course.
Are you saying that? So why can't
what happened? Okay, after the liberation,
it's a tradition of state or what?
After 1971, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was running the country just from the hell. I mean, it was whole demolished country. Even the money were burning that time. There was no bridges. There was no money, no fund, nothing. Pakistani army destroyed the whole country. Out of the ashes, he tried to rebuild the country. He was trying. If I am not wrong, in 1973, there was 2 major cyclones. Even before the election of 1970s, November, when the election date was announced, after that, there was the biggest cyclone and about 150,000 people were killed. And aftermath, out of the cholera broke out that time, more 50,000 people killed during liberation war. So in 1973, there was a food crisis, there was a financial crisis, a lot of issues. You know it, obviously. If you know a little bit history of Bangladesh, India was a part of it. Even where you are at this moment, Bangladeshi people took shelter in your country, in your area. So out of scratch, Sheikh Mujib was trying to rebuild the country. And we can talk about lots of history, lots of conspiracy. He did that, blah, 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 blah. Just a few days ago, last month, one of the killer of Sheikh Mujib openly confessed that during 1971 war, when he was in Calcutta, that time they planned to kill Sheikh Mujib. It's not me who was telling that. So
who is he?
Major Dalim. Major Dalim.
Okay.
If you just type Major Dalim in the YouTube, you will see his interview. He was telling that they planned to kill him during 1971 war while he was in Pakistani jail. So my question is, what was his fault? Sheikh Mujib's fault? Liberation war was going on, people are fighting. You know what happening that time, right? Our freedom fighter was just trying to save their country. So when you are pretending to be a freedom fighter, but you are not. You are just a spy of Pakistan, and you planned to kill Sheikh Mujib during 1971 war, and you just do the things as planned in 1975. So after that confession, if you talk that Sheikh Mujib was not competent enough after 71, he couldn't run the country properly, no logic can be used here. If somebody said,
so
we planned to kill him in 1971 war.
So Mr. Muzumdar, are you saying that Bangladesh has this kind of this sort of a conflict going on from inception between secular and religious? That's what's happening, or Pakistan?
Yes.
And
it's
national
Bangladesh. What is their anger, what is their rage is very clear. The people who didn't want to separate from Pakistan, the people who killed Bangladeshi people with Pakistani armies. There was a few few sect, Al Badr, Al Shams, Shahin Fauj, and other the peace committees and stuff. So they were active that time. They didn't want Bangladesh to be liberated. They didn't even believe the existence of Bangladesh. That time probably they were in the corner side. They were silent, but over the time they created they gained their strength. They got opportunity, and there was a tacit fight against the spirit of the country. For example, Bangladesh wanted to be the people who wanted Bangladesh to be a secular country, who wanted Bangladesh as a democratic country. Other part wanted to be a khilafat. Their counterpart wanted this country to be a Muslim country, Islamic country like Pakistan. So they did it. I mean, if you ask me that whether I want to tell it or not, I don't want to tell anything. It's happened. When I'm telling you something that it might happen, this is my contention. Yes, you can tell that, well, I am comprehend that, I am apprehend that, okay, this might happen. This is my opinion, this is my guess. But the things which already happened, I'm just narrating it. In 1975, they killed Sheikh Mujib. For the 21 year, Bangladesh Awami League couldn't come to the power, and they came in 1996. And the process was going on. In 2001, in 2004, the PM, the current PM of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, she was approached to kill for the last time in 21st of August 2004. What did she do that time? She was opposition leader and giving a speech in Noyapolton. You know about 21st August incident. And we had a caretaker government system. Sorry?
No, why Bangladesh? Then why Bangladesh couldn't solve it? That this conflict between religion and secular, why it is not sort of solved in almost?
Well, this is a very deep question. This is
I wanted to know.
Well,
what do you think?
I mean, in a summary, I can tell you one thing. There was a dividation between people. When after the liberation war, I mean, now we can realize that most of our people didn't even wanted to separate from Pakistan. That's what I realize now. They wanted to be a slave of Pakistan. They wanted that life. They wanted to be part of Pakistan that time, and they were silent. And those part is now in action. Whatever you are seeing is just a descendant of them, disciple of them, legacy of those people. So we cannot accumulate our strength together. We failed to think together, right? And since that time, the national, what we called, there is a very good word in English called harmonization of thoughts. We failed on that. Okay. After 54 years of the independence, do you think that matter should be in question, that who are not freedom fighter and who were freedom fighter? And even can you imagine that Pakistan is controlling Bangladesh even now? The ISI agent came like last week. So if you talk about our democracy, if you talk about our political system, we can talk about that. When you are talking about this, that Sheikh Mujib was a traitor, Sheikh Mujib separated Pakistan with the Indian plot, what Pakistan is writing at this moment, and most of the Bangladeshis subscribing that thought, then you cannot talk about the failure. The failure was actually in 54 years ago. We failed to understand our most of the people's thought. I think the liberation, what people say, that now I can say that we fought, our liberation struggle was even not wanted by many. And those people, the people who didn't want, they're now in action. They're in the steering wheel. They're running the country. So there was a division.
We have to end it here because there's a particular time frame for Zoom. So we'll continue this conversation later sometime. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you so much for your time.